Welcome to the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I am your host, Carmen McLeod, and I want to talk to you about all things spirituality and personal development, because these are the things that light up my soul and have completely changed my life and made me into the person that I am. I want to bring you along my journey through self-discovery as I travel the world and expand my consciousness. So if you're interested in topics such as the mind, the soul, and the universe, and you want to continue to evolve into your soul's purpose and become the best version of you, then you are in the right place. Thank you for being here. Good morning, everyone. It is morning for me, but for most of you, it will be evening because most of you listening to this are in Canada as of now, and I am still in Southeast Asia where everything is opposite. So yeah, it's a wonderful morning for me, even though it is raining. It has been raining for the last week or so. I've been in Cambodia, in Kep, new area of Cambodia, for the last week or so, and yeah, it's been stormy the entire time. So I've had lots of time to paint and basically paint. I've met some new people who are staying at the resort, and so I've hung out with some new people, and I've really experienced recently, really what it's like to be on my own, because though I've been technically traveling solo since being in Cambodia, I was alone for the first day or two as I traveled down to the islands, but since then, as most of you know, I met Emily and she kept traveling with me. So, and then, after Emily left, I was with Jay. So I've always had a friend with me that I've met along the way. However, now, though I'm meeting friends, they're not friends that I'm living with. So that's the difference now. So I'm living alone here in a house, and it's an interesting experience for sure. I mean, I can handle it. It's good. I'm more of an extroverted person. So though I'm totally fine to be living here, I'm not scared. I'm not I don't know. I don't really mind living alone, but I do love social interaction. I'm not super introverted, so I do love to, be able to do things and talk with people, and that's one of the reasons I made this podcast. So anyways, that's kind of what I've been up to, mostly just painting murals. I just finished a mural yesterday at the resort that I'm staying, so I will be posting about it soon on my social media. And yeah, so another just an update, actually. This one's a rather exciting update. I am going to go backpack through Vietnam. I leave in 2 days. I decided about 2 days ago to leave in 4 days from then, so 2 days from now, to go to Vietnam, which was not part of the plan. I've always Vietnam was always one of the places I'd love to see one day, but the reason I'm going kind of impromptu like this is my visa is not able to be extended as long. I may have mentioned something about this before, but my plan before was, when I found out that I couldn't extend my visa until August 15th, so a month from now, is when I thought I'd be leaving Cambodia. But it turns out I have to leave 1 month earlier, so I have to leave in a couple days because it's almost July 15th. So I was going to go to the Philippines a month early. I actually found a new Workaway over there. Workaway is the company that I've been finding my jobs through, that I've been finding my mural work through, and finding the accommodation for that. So I did find someone to go stay with, and it was a free diving place, actually a really, really cool opportunity. However, I still have tattoos that are not fully healed, and I wouldn't be able to swim for most of the trip potentially over there. And also, I don't know how long they're going to let me stay in the Philippines. So if they, when I get there is when they tell me how long I can ask for a visa for. So I don't want to risk missing out on my other locations that I was way more excited for. So anyways, that's why I decided, okay, maybe let's just not go to the Philippines yet, and let's see. So basically I had a gap month. And so I was thinking, let's go to Bali, because I've always wanted to go to Bali. And that's always been my number one place to travel. It's a very spiritual place, somewhere that I would definitely thrive. I love to swim, I love the beach, and I love meditation. I love the whole thing. However, tattoos. So it would probably kill me to not be able to, not probably, it would kill me to be in Bali and not be able to swim, because I am definitely a water baby. So I took that off, or I decided, actually, I didn't take it off the list, but then I thought about Vietnam, and because Vietnam is right beside where I am, like, I literally, it's going to take me like 15-20 minutes to drive to the border of Vietnam from where I am. So very close, very cheap to get over there. And I know lots of people who have just finished or and are currently backpacking through there. So I have lots of people to talk to about it. So, anyways, I decided, yeah, let's go to Vietnam, and go backpack through there. And though I don't have any workaway things planned, I have literally nothing planned. I'm just gonna go and see where the wind blows me. Like, see where the wind takes me. I shouldn't say it that way. But yeah, see where the wind takes me out there. And yeah, so I decided to get a backpack, and because I brought a suitcase out here, which was, see, I don't like to regret things, but I honestly regretted bringing a suitcase with me on my travels. Like, quickly I realized that, oh my gosh, this is way too much stuff that you brought, and a suitcase is such a bitch to get around with. I didn't think it would be a problem, and I also thought that I would need one because I have a bunch of art supplies that I needed to bring, and like, there's no way I could carry that on my backpack. We'll see if I'm able to, but anyways, I thought that I wouldn't be able to do backpacking. And I figured, because I'm living with each person for like a month, really, I'm not backpacking. I wasn't planning to backpack ever out here. I was planning to live with people. And so, anyways, things have changed, and now I'm really, really excited to do the backpacking thing. And I'm excited to declutter all my stuff because I just brought way too much stuff. And so, yeah, the story of how I got the backpack is actually the reason why I'm doing this episode right now, which I'm going to get to later in the episode. But I got this backpack, and I am so, so proud of myself for how I got the backpack. And I'm not going to say any more. I'll say it later. But anyways, let's get into what this episode is about. First, actually, before I get into what this episode is about, I just want to extend my gratitude for anybody who is coming to me and letting me know how my podcast is affecting them already. I've gotten some really sweet messages, especially one from one of my best friends sent me the most beautiful message about, and just talked to me, was talking to me on the phone as well, about just how listening to my podcast so far has really impacted her, and how she is seeing her life and the decisions she's making. And it touched my heart so much to hear this, because this is exactly what I want for the podcast. I really, really do want to inspire people and to have a positive impact on the world, whatever means that comes through. This is exactly what I wanted. So I'm so, so thankful that it's helping, especially somebody who's so important to me and who I want to be happy. So I'm so thankful that she's listening, and that people are listening, and that it's helping people. So I feel like if it's helping one person, it's probably helping multiple people. And so I'm really thankful for that. And I really, if anyone else is being touched by this podcast in any way, and if it helps you at all, I would love to hear it. And I would love for you. It just made me so happy to hear that these things that I'm talking about are planting seeds within people and to help them grow. It's just so wonderful. And I mean, it even influenced the degree that she's choosing. This all happened at such a wonderful time, because she was gonna go into a degree for something that was more of like the security thing to do, and versus to pick a degree that she actually is passionate about. And she was going to choose the degree that she was kind of already in that field, and it was secure and all of that. but she was just saying that after listening to some of my podcasts, it is one of the reasons that she decided that she's gonna choose the degree that she actually is passionate about and is less secure. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so happy to hear that this podcast came at the right time, and so wonderful. So anyways, if this podcast is helping you in any way, let me know. Leave me a review would be amazing as well. The more you leave reviews for somebody, the more their podcast gets pushed out to people, and then the more the other people will hear this, and the more that it could help them. So if you love my podcast and if it's helping you at all, I would really love to hear it. I'd love to find out that it's helping you, but also, if you're able to leave any reviews for me, that would be wonderful. Okay, I just wanted to talk about that because it's fresh in my mind, and it's really, really makes me really happy to talk about. Anyways, so that's my little intro for this, but now I'm going to talk about what the episode is actually about today, which is, if you don't ASK, you don't GET. And no, ASK and GET they're not abbreviations for other words, but this is just a saying that my mom and I have always said, and my family. Like, I think that I learned it from my mom. Don't know where she learned it from or if she created it, but it's something that she's always said. If you don't ASK, you don't GET. We say it all the time, and the meaning is if you don't ask, you don't get. Really. Simple. It's quite simple, so I don't think it's going to be a super long podcast today, but simple, but it is life-changing. Because I can give you a million examples, but I'm just going to give you a couple examples of what have happened to me on my trip. And just when I use that, and I always say it in my head, it's literally when I'm coming up to a decision, or if something, I want to ask for something, but it's not always easy to ask for what you want. And there has been times where I'm in a vulnerable position to ask for what I want, and it's uncomfortable, and then I almost don't do it, and then I say in my head, if you don't ASK, you don't GET. So I always hear my mom's voice coming through my head when I am confronted with these situations. And 9 times out of 10, when you ask, you get it. If you ask for what you want, because usually it's you ask somebody and they'll help you get it, or they'll give it to you, or whatever it is. Or if you ask God, you ask the universe, hey, here goes, this is all part of the manifestation thing. Like, hey, ask for what you want, ask the universe, be clear on what you want. But that's more broad. I'm going to talk about just some specific things, simple things that I asked for that really, really helped me in my travels. So the first one, definitely the most significant, I'd say, because this one obviously was like the most almost life-changing, I guess, in a way. And I know I've talked about Emily a million times, but I'm going to talk about her again because she's freaking amazing. Number one, when I got to Cambodia and I met Emily, you guys probably know the story by now, but I'll recap. I met Emily at the first volunteer job that I did. She was there. She was about to leave the next day because it was definitely not it just wasn't the place that you would want to be alone. Like, it was a really amazing place when her and I were together. We had so much fun. But being alone there, I could see like it being a totally different experience. So she was going to leave the next day. And I arrived, and her and I got to talking, and we talked all night, and we knew we had such a great connection, and I was so sad that she was leaving, and then I was going to be there alone too. I was like, oh no. But so, I had just met this girl, so to ask her, I was going to ask her to stay. I mean, I had kind of hinted at it. I was like, oh, I really wish that you weren't leaving. Have you already bought your ticket? Stuff like that. And she said, yes, I already bought my boat ticket, my bus ticket. Like, she kind of already spent the money to like leave. She already booked everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. But, and anyways, we, kept hanging out. And then, I don't know, at some point I was just like, thinking, I'm like, okay, I know I don't want, because in my mind, I wanted to ask her, like, will you just stay and I'll just like buy your ticket from you so that you hadn't lost any money? Because I really wanted her to stay. But I didn't want her to feel like obligated to stay because I'm asking her to. That's the Canadian in me, I guess. Like, I don't want to make someone else feel uncomfortable by me asking. That's usually how it is. It's like, I don't want them to feel like they have to say yes to me. But that's not really ever the case. Like, if someone wants to say no, they can say no. And if that's, it's up to them, right? But, I just didn't want to feel like pushy or weird when I asked her to stay. So I was thinking about it, and throughout that evening, I was like, whatever, just ask her. She's leaving tomorrow. Like, this is your last chance. And anyways, and I was like, okay, I think you should stay. Can I buy your ticket from you? And then you wouldn't have lost any money, but I really want you to stay here and keep traveling with me. And then I also asked her, yeah, you can stay here with me for the week and then come with me to the other island to go to Jay's place, and you can come with me and stay there for as long as you want. And she said, okay. She's like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm just going to do it. I was like, really? No way. And it was simple as that. And then, the rest was history. So that's example number 1. I am beyond grateful that I asked her to stay. Just so amazing. So that was the first example. The second example is when I was leaving Karong Sanlam, leaving Jay's place to come over here. So more recently, about a week ago. I got on the ferry, and when I got on the ferry, I saw that there was a guy who knew Sona, who is actually my first interviewee, who will be on the podcast very soon. But he's the one that did the guided meditations with us, and he's going to talk about meditation. But anyways, he actually came to the boat to see me off and say goodbye to me, which was really sweet. And I saw him say goodbye to another guy as well, but I didn't really talk to that guy. I just noticed that they knew each other. And when we got off the boat at the mainland, I got off and I was saying a prayer before getting off the boat. I was like, because I had such a traumatic, well, no, I wouldn't say traumatic, but almost traumatic experience just getting from Phnom Penh, like up north Cambodia down to the island, and just doing the whole traveling thing is really difficult as a tourist / woman / just, it was not fun. And I was just like saying a little prayer. I was just like, please make this as easy as possible. Like, this is going to be no problem. Me getting to Kep, and which is a few hours away from where the boat docked. So, and then I was like, I was literally setting the intention, I'm going to meet the right person. When I get off here, I'm going to meet the right person who's going to just take me right to my destination, no problem. Because I had heard that there is no bus or any train or anything that goes straight from where I landed from the boat to Kep. There was actually no. You have to take a bus to a different city that's right beside it, and then a bus from there to there, or like cab from there to there to where I am. So I knew that it was going to be a bit of like a travel and a bit of changes, and anyways, so I was setting the intention that no, I'm going to meet the right person and they're going to take me right there. So when I got off the boat, I saw the guy that I saw when I got on the boat. I saw him waiting for his luggage as well, and thought about it, and I was like, should I just see like what he's doing? I mean, but Kep is not a place that most tourists go. I was like, there's no way he's going to be going to there. I mean, I was like, should I even bother? You always second guess it. You always question, should I even? So I decided, no, let's ask. So I went and asked him, hey, hi, I'm Carmen. Where are you going? Basically, I just said, hey, where are you going from here? Can I get a ride with you if you happen to be passing by where I'm going? And he's going up to Phnom Penh, up to the north area to fly out. And he said, I have a driver. We can see if we can drop you off on the way. It's a bit of a detour. It was like an hour or 2 hours detour on top of his like 6-hour trip up, So I did feel like, okay, well, please don't feel obligated to say yes, because that's quite a lot of time that you're going to add once we found out that that's how long it would be. So anyways, he asked his driver, who was such a nice guy, and both of them were like, yeah, no, we can totally do it. I gave the driver $20, and which is a lot of money in Cambodia. That, yeah, definitely more than he would have asked me for sure. But it was so worth it because he drove me right to my resort that I was staying at, and so simple and such a wonderful ride over. And I think the guy that I asked, like, had a bit of money, like he had a bit of money because he had like a private driver, and the driver would like stop to get us waters, and he stopped and let us get lunch, and was very, like, I could tell like it was a, I think he was paying him well, so it was a really kind of like a almost luxurious way over. And the guy in the car even said to me, like, not the driver, the guy that I asked to take me, he was like, hey, like, good for you for asking me to get a ride, because most people wouldn't do that. And I was like, oh yeah, thank you. Like, if you don't ASK, you don't GET. So that was really cool. That worked out for me really nicely. And the third example, and this is the reason that I'm creating the episode, because it's just happened like 2 days ago. And I'm still so happy about it. Like, I'm so proud of myself for this one. And it's simple, but it's, I think, the most, I don't know. This one is just the one I'm just like right now the most excited about because it just happened. Like I said, I had a suitcase, and I have been wanting to get rid of it for like the whole time I've been in Cambodia. I really wanted to like switch over to a backpack. However, people in Cambodia and like people in Southeast Asia tend to not travel because most of the people don't have very much money. So if people do travel, it's like within Southeast Asia, and anyways, usually in areas like this, so it's usually like Westerners or people will come travel here, and they'll bring backpacks that they already have, so they don't really sell much of them out here. So I looked around, I took out the motorbike, and I drove around for a few hours looking all over the city for a backpack, because I was determined to get a backpack to do backpacking through Vietnam. I was like, there's no bloody way that I am bringing this suitcase with me. And it was a brand new suitcase that I had bought for this trip, like very expensive, and but whatever, I just didn't want it anymore. And I was thinking, if I find a backpack, I can probably just ship my suitcase home with all the extra stuff I don't need. So anyways, I couldn't find a suitcase anywhere. So I kind of figured, okay, well, maybe, if worse comes to worse, I'll have to wait till I get to Vietnam, to the city. And when I get to that city, they should have something for me, and then I'll deal with it then. But anyways, the next morning, I was eating breakfast, and I saw a couple who were checking out of the resort, and they both had backpacks, like the big traveling backpacks. And so this one I really hesitated with, because I was so like embarrassing for almost, but not embarrassing, but just so uncomfortable. I was like, okay, they have backpacks. I'm like, should I just go ask them for their backpack? Like, is that crazy? Maybe it is. But I was like, okay, well, if you don't ASK, and whatever, if they say no, they say no. But also, I was like, I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. What if they feel like they have to say yes to me? But that's all BS. If they want to say no, they can say no. They're never going to see me again. So I stood up from my seat, and then I sat back down. And then I stood up. I waited there for a few minutes, still just thinking in my head, should I do this? This is so uncomfortable. And I decided, okay, if you don't ASK, you don't GET, just go do it. So I went up to them, and I was like, hi, I know this sounds probably really funny, but I really need a backpack, and I've been looking for one everywhere, and I have a suitcase, and I was just wondering if you would trade me your backpack for my suitcase. And they obviously looked puzzled and looked at each other like, what the heck? And I was like, you guys can think about it. Just let me know. They were about to get picked up by a cab. Like, they were literally like leaving. But like they said they were leaving in like 20-30 minutes. And so they're like, okay, well, we'll talk about it. And then yeah, the girl came up and she said, okay, well, can I see your suitcase? Like, she's like, I think it should be no problem, but can I see your suitcase? And I was like, yes, yes, I'll be right back. I run over to my place that I'm staying. I dump my suitcase out and I run back with it, like so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I know it's not a yes yet, but like probably it's a yes. It's a really nice suitcase. And I'm like, yeah, so they by the way, if you could hear my tummy rumbling, it's morning. I haven't had coffee nor breakfast yet, so that's so funny if you can hear my tummy rumbling. But yeah, anyways, I bring the suitcase back and yeah, she puts all her stuff in it. She tells me a couple things that are broken on her backpack, that like a zipper is broken, and she just showed me how to use it. She's like, there you go. And I was like, just beaming with excitement, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is just amazing. I mean, I think it was a win-win because she even said that they were going home, like they weren't backpacking. They were older, like they were like, I don't know, 30, like mid 30s or whatever, late 30s. And so they were going home and they just have backpacks because it's easier, but they didn't actually like need it as much as I did. And they're probably more like, yeah, anyways, I figured that they could use the suitcase at some point for for travel. And yeah, they're going home, so they don't need the backpack anymore. So I was like just so thankful, and thank them a million times. And it was so sweet after too, because she, came up to me and kind of like whispered, because it was still kind of a secret. She was like, yeah, like, I'm pregnant and this is actually going to be our last trip for a long time. This is why we're here. We just wanted to have one last trip before the baby comes. Like, I couldn't tell if she was pregnant. It was, I guess she's not like super pregnant yet, but, and she said, so I'm really happy that we were able to help you because, we're not going to need this backpack for a long time. I'm not going to be backpacking with my baby probably. So it was like so perfect and so like serendipitous how it all worked out. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So I am so just ecstatic that this all worked out. I don't know. Just having this backpack makes me feel so good. It's like the feeling of decluttering your room, like when you really clean your room and get rid of a bunch of stuff and a bunch of clothes and just like it's so clean. That's how I feel, because I felt like really overcrowded with the amount of stuff that I brought. Like I brought such unnecessary stuff, like paint roller. Like I don't need to roll paint. I mean, I did need to roll paint here, but if someone needs me to roll paint, they should have their own paint roller. Stuff like that. Like, why did I bring it? I brought a paint tray that the paint roller goes in. Like, I don't need any of this stuff. But this is, I'm new to traveling, so I'm cutting myself a little bit of slack. So yeah, I'm just so happy to be decluttered, and I'm just gonna have to deal with like the stuff that I don't need. I don't know, I really don't want to have to like throw it, like give it all away, because like, like my ukulele and my just paint stuff, like there's a lot of things that I don't want to have to like part with, so I might send it home, but otherwise, it's just stuff, and I might just have to practice letting go of material possessions. So I'm just really thankful that I have this mindset of, if you don't ASK, you don't GET, like ask for what you want. I'm so thankful that I was raised to ask for what I want. My mom always told us to ask for what we want, and it's really amazing because she was raised kind of the opposite of that mindset. She was raised more with she was told when she would grow up, no, you can't have that because you asked for it. So basically the opposite. It was like, you don't ask for what you want because you don't want to burden other people. And that's just what the thoughts were around the house that she grew up in. And that's just how things were back then. But I'm really thankful that, my mom did the work to kind of step away from that mindset and, forgive her parents for kind of raising her that way, and able to just like shift it into a learning lesson and to teach her kids to do something that she wished she had been taught, which is to ask for what you want, because that's how you get what you want. And ask for what you want and be okay with no. That's the second part of it, right? Like, be okay with no, but so be detached from what the outcome is, but don't be afraid to ask for what you want, because really it's just because you care about what someone else thinks of you. But why? Like, why care what other people think of you? You're not doing anything rude by asking, right? So I'm really like proud of my mom to be able to have broken away from that mindset and completely stepped into the opposite of embodying the ask for what you want and you shall receive. And she taught us that. And so I really have, her to thank for this. And my dad too. He also told us to ask for what we want. But definitely the ASK thing is a saying from my mom. And yeah, the worst thing that can ever happen is no. And that's where you are now. You don't have the thing, you want the thing. So if you don't ask for the thing, there you go, it's already a no. If you ask for the thing, you either get it or it'll be the same as now. So why not ask for what you want, right? Like, it just comes down to, are you okay with no? And are you okay with, even potential embarrassment? Like, they could have laughed in my face for asking them to trade with me. And then that's okay, because I don't actually care what random people think of me. And for the most part, I mean, it's still something to work on. But so, yeah, that's it. It's simple and it's life-changing. So next time that you want something and you maybe are feeling like, I don't know if I should ask for it, maybe just, I hope that I can plant the seed of, I hope that you hear my voice in your head next time saying, if you don't ASK. So yeah, if you don't ASK, you don't GET. I mean, sir, you can get when you don't ask. I mean, that's obviously a thing. You don't always have to ask for what you want in order to get it. But think about how much more you're going to receive in life. You're going to get what you want just by asking for it. And think about all the missed opportunities that could be if you are too afraid to ask. Kind of along the lines of the risk-taking thing, like, So I hope that this inspires you to ask for what you want, and I hope that you all get what you want in life, because, of course, I wish that for you always. And yeah, so thanks for listening. It, brings me lots of joy to talk to you every week. I was actually going to give you a different episode today because I have already completed my very first interview, which is super duper exciting. But I just wanted to hop on here and talk about this topic because it's more recent in my memory and I'm excited about it. And so it's just the topic of what's going on. And it links with my travels through Vietnam and all that. So next week is going to be a really good one. Oh my gosh. It's going to be a really good episode because it's an interview and it's not just me talking. It's mostly Sona talking, and he is so amazing and one of the most interesting people I've ever met. So you guys are in for a treat. I'm so excited to share him with you, and you guys will just totally understand why I've been, raving about him so much. So until then, take care, everyone, and I love you all, and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.